Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Fitness Podcast and Happy New Year. This is the second week into the year, and people are trying to make these behavior changes. They're trying to crush these goals. They're trying to change their life for the better. And we know that's extremely difficult. So I wanted to make a podcast today about what I think really creates change. I've been a personal trainer for 11 years and I've tried to help people make changes in their life. And so there are some things that I see that really, when people put it into practice, it really helps them. And the things that cause people to not win, even if they try and try and try. And usually it's because of a couple of things. And so I want to go over those things because it is extremely difficult. It is extremely difficult to change your behaviors. It's like they know that after the age of about 26 years old, it's almost impossible to change your behaviors. You're kind of set in your ways. Your beliefs are kind of hard pressed into your mind. And it's hard for you to change those. I mean, that's like who you are, what you are, and to game those and to figure out hey, what are these things that are causing me to be this way? There's only one thing that science shows really makes a change for the most part. And it could be negative or positive depending on how you've conditioned your mind, which is trauma. So if you basically get hit by a car or there's a drunk driver that's coming down the road and kills half your family and you're the last one alive or something like that, that's when you'll usually change your behavior. And same event, it could go well or it could go extremely bad. And what I mean by that is it's like you get hit by a car and it causes this trauma to you. This is non-self-induced trauma. You either say, hey, I'm going to make sure no drunk drivers ever hit another family again. And you go on this crazy, they call it post-traumatic growth. You basically start to become a fucking champion in life to try and stop all these drunk drivers because of this thing that happened to you. So you basically corner and leverage the pain in your life to try and create better for society. Same exact event, only you've conditioned your mind to look at things negatively. You lost your whole family. Your life is fucked. Everything is fucked. No one cares, whatever, XYZ. Now you go the other way and you start becoming an alcoholic yourself. Shit, maybe you hit a fucking family because you're fucking drinking so much because you just looked at it super negatively. Same event, two outcomes based on how you condition your mind. And it's extremely powerful. It's the same thing. It's the archetype of the superhero and the supervillain. They both start with the same exact story. They both have the same exact story. They've been wronged by the world. They've lost everything. They've been beaten, broken. Only one says, I want revenge and I want everyone to feel this pain that I had to go through, or I will do everything in my power so that no one has to go through this. I will do what's right. I will do what's better for society. It's the same, but it's the same beginning. And so here's the quote for today to kind of prime everything that I'm going to talk about in this podcast. And that is, you don't experience life, you experience what you focus on. And that's because when you're going through life, basically you have good and bad happening all the time, at the same time. It's not like, oh, things are going good right now. And so I'm experiencing good and I'm experiencing life because life is good. And then it's like, oh no, things are bad now. And so now I'm dealing with all the bad stuff. No, basically what it is there's bad stuff and good stuff going on at the same time always. And whether you're focusing on one, I'm focusing on all the good stuff. Good. Now my life is good. Something happens and it shifts your focus to what's going on that's bad. And so now, oh man, my life is bad. Like they say, when it rains, it pours. It's because when one bad thing happens and you shift your focus to bad, you just start thinking about all the bad shit that's happening. And the more and more you think about all the bad things, the more and more you search for the bad things that are happening, the more you find, the worse it gets, the darker it gets, the further down the hole you get. And it's really hard to get out of the bottom of that hole because you have to really find a way now to turn your mind around and start focusing on all the good things and the gratitude and expressing gratitude for all the stuff that you have in your life. So that's basically what I want to talk about today. We have to automate our subconscious mind. So I got a little quote here. Not really a quote, but a little bit of science out of here. This scientist, Emma Young, in the New Science magazine, basically she said that about 95% of your mind, or she believes at least with the most current science, is that 95% of you is automated. So that means that most of you most of your brain, most of your behaviors, most of your beliefs, most of what you are is automated. And you have 5%, which is basically controlled by or at least filtered by the the prefrontal cortex of the brain. And so this is how you basically, for example, if you're a dude and you're out walking and you see an attractive female and you're like, man, she's really attractive. I'd love to go have sex with that girl. And you were like, maybe I should go and I should just run and just like tackle her and then start having sex with her right now. You have that urge or something. And you don't do it because like this prefrontal cortex goes, that's illegal. Don't do that. You're like, all right, I'm not going to do that. And some of us have better prefrontal cortex control and some of us have worse. Like some people will bark at that girl because they're close to being an ape or an animal. And then some people will not do that and be polite and not act on those weird impulses. So it's impulse control. Impulse control is about 5% of you. And then when you're drinking alcohol, you basically fuck that right off. So what happens is you decrease your control of your subconscious brain, the limbic system, and you decrease the activity of the prefrontal cortex that basically filters out all of these crazy impulses that come through your brain. So we have to find a way to game that. Automation is super, super important because you've had a goal. You have a goal now. You have this way you want to be. Here's what's crazy about it. Truly, here's what's fucking crazy about it. This whole thing is that, and this should not scare you, but this should at least make you think a little bit about everything that's going on. This should make you be more aware, and this also make you understand how important it is to learn about this stuff and to try to better yourself through leveraging this stuff. But basically, you shouldn't do a thing. So think about right now, think about all the things that you shouldn't be doing. Like if you stopped right now for 1 second and just went, okay, I know this one thing that I keep doing fucks me up all the time. It keeps throwing me off. It keeps messing my life up. And the next day you do it again. And before you go and do it, like let's say I eat 3 donuts every morning and every afternoon and every night, and like I'm fat as shit. And like I'm trying to stop, and I need to stop doing that. And then you see those donuts, and you're like, those donuts are causing this because I got a personal trainer now, or I got a coach, or XYZ, and they've told me this is bad, and I know this is bad, and I know I should stop doing it. And you still do it. You still walk up to those donuts. You still eat the donuts. That's one thing. That could be also like alcohol. Alcohol is more of an addiction, so there's a little bit like much more of like an addiction, like chemical addiction. There's a whole different podcast. But in any case, what I'm saying is that I'm talking more about the behaviors. Like I should go work out, and then you don't. I should stop hanging out with these friends because they're bad news and they're getting me in trouble, and then you go hang out with them, even though you know you shouldn't go do it. So it's not a matter of like, I need to know what I need to do. It's a matter of how or why do I do the things I shouldn't be doing, even though I know I shouldn't do them, or I want to go do this thing. I want to go work out regularly because I see all the benefits that come from it, but then you just don't do it. You just don't do it. And you know how good it's going to be. I mean, you're motivated. You're fucking inspired. You have the passion for it. You're like, man, I know how good this can be for me, my life, my family, my career. And you don't do it. And you still don't do it. That should scare you a little bit, because that means that like there's things in your life that are so powerfully automated in your subconscious mind that it's causing you to have behaviors and thoughts and beliefs and all sorts of things, like the things you say, the way you say them. Maybe you're a complainer. That kills you if you're a complainer. Maybe you're somebody who constantly sees yourself as a victim, and you know that's bad, but you can't stop doing it, even though you know, and you're aware of yourself doing it, you still don't stop. That is something you need to be working on. And it happens to all of us. And you're not going to get it 100%, but there needs to be a practice, because that thing is killing your ability to win. And so how do we do it? We have first, and this might be, you might not be aware that this is the case. And so you're a step back. And the first thing is always awareness, like finding awareness. And I have some tools here about awareness, but I want to talk about automating your behaviors to win. You have to automate your behaviors to win. And what does that mean? It's the same thing with focus. You have to automate your focus. You have to automate these things. You have to game your mind. You have to game your mind. If you have 5% versus 95% of your brain. That's what you have. So if you're trying to willpower yourself into winning, you're going to lose eventually. That's going to fuck off eventually. You feel yourself willpowering that. It's like you have to change your identity. You have to find a way to do something so often that you change your identity. Imagine you're overweight right now. Imagine you're overweight and you want to be fit, you want a six-pack, but you identify with overweight. Your community identifies you with overweight. You make jokes about you being overweight. You make jokes about you being lazy. You make jokes about you eating the donuts. You make jokes about you getting hammered and getting fucked up. You make jokes about that. That's who you are. That's what you are. That's why you are. Even if you don't want to be it, that's what you are right now. How do you go from that to I am the fitness friend? I am the fitness friend. It's a very difficult switch because everyone's going to laugh at you when you start to try and change what you are, and that is to become the fitness friend. And to become the fitness friend is somebody who's doing all the fitness stuff all the time. Like, I'm going to the gym. I'm eating like let's say not less calories, but let's say you're eating cleaner, less processed food, more real whole food. You're drinking more water. You're not drinking soda anymore. You've made limitations on like going out and getting fucked up with your friends, that kind of thing. Like, now you're becoming this thing that's a little annoying to your friends that don't give a shit. And they're like, dude, what the fuck? And then they're like, you're out to eat with them and you order something that's like gross and shit because everyone else is ordering gross and shit. And they're like, oh, I thought you were doing the fitness thing. And now that's when you know things are really working for you. I thought you were doing a thing. And you're like, oh shit, I am doing a thing. And they're noticing that. And so now every time you go out with them after that, you're like, fuck, I can't order the burger because if I order the burger, they're going to, you know what I mean? That's going to be the thing. You can't do that. Now you have to start ordering this other stuff. It's like automating this thing. And it's by changing your identity, by doing something so consistently and so relentlessly that it becomes not something that you're willpowering on a day-to-day, but something that's just like, this is just what I do now. This is just what I do now. And so that's basically what today is going to be all about, is the tools that we can use, but first, like, how to figure out like what it is exactly that you are needing to automate out, you know? And so let's go with that. So first, if you are a human being on planet Earth right now, basically you are creating routines on a daily basis. You wake up in the morning, you go down the stairs or whatever, you go into the kitchen, you do the same thing, or you go to the bathroom, you do the same thing. You have like a morning routine, even if it's good or bad. You do the same stuff in the same order, and if it gets messed up, your whole day gets messed up. You get dressed the same way, X, Y, Z. You've kind of created the same. You take the same route to work, you take the same route back, all that stuff. Some of it's bad. So you've got to become aware. So the first step is like, let's become aware. Awareness is the first step before you can automate anything that you know you need. So you need to pay attention to what's causing you to lose. So you have to say to yourself, okay, you have to sit down and you have to be like, all right, what are all these behaviors that are causing me to get fucked up? And you might need like somebody to maybe be real with you on some of these things. Ask like a personal trainer or a coach or a life coach or whatever you got, a psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever you got, therapist, whatever you got. You need somebody. What's going on? What might be causing that? So set the intention for 1 week, just 7 days, to figure out exactly what those things are that are messing you up. So you've got your goal. Let's say, so not your goal first. So let's say that your goal first. So let's say you're trying to lose weight. Let's say you're trying to be more positive, right? Let's say you're trying to complain less. But then in 7 days, this is what you've come to find out. You want to lose weight, but every time you pass the QT, you have to go in because you always go in and you always get like the donut and the energy drink and the XYZ, and you do it every morning, and it's just part of your routine. You've tried to like stop doing it, but it's like every time you see that QT sign or every time you see that gas station sign, you end up going in anyways. And even if you don't want it, you just go in. That's part of the routine. All right, good to go. You get back into your car, you get into work. Okay, you go through the front doors, you see Deb, she's at the front desk, and she's like, "Hey, what's up, Jane Doe? Like, doesn't today suck?" And you're like, "Yeah, today fucking sucks." And she's like, "Yeah," because Deb's kind of a Debbie Downer. Like, Deb's not a big fan of life, and she's like, and you and her, man, you guys get after it, and you guys are just like, "Yeah, listen to this. What about Andrew and Cell Block 1?" I guess like now you're in prison, but in any case, like you are saying, you are having this conversation, and you have this conversation with Deb. She's the I hate life, and you both get on with like we hate life. Then you go back to the office or whatever. And you've got like everybody in the office and they all hate to be there too. And you guys all get off on like fucking hating being there, right? So then you all like say, "Oh, another day, another dollar, man." Same shit, different day or whatever, that kind of thing. You start to notice this like, oh man, my conversations are all built around how much my life sucks. But you're almost addicted to that now. And so now you leave that, you head home. Maybe you go to the gym because like you're doing a New Year's resolution and you're doing a New Year's resolution and you want to lose weight. So you got a personal trainer or something because that's common right now in the season. And you go in through the front door and you see your trainer and you're like, "Hey, what's up, trainer?" No, you don't even, no, trainer says, "Hey, what's up, Jane Doe?" And you say, "I'm here. I'm fucking here, man. I had a fucking long day at work. First of the year is always rough." And and the trainer's like, "Oh, that's okay. We got you. We'll thaw you out. We'll do it." Through that workout, all you do is complain the entire time because like you don't want to be there because you hate it, but it's like something you have to do, and you tell the trainer how much you hate it, and it's a funny joke. And like, I guess that's the banter that now is going from work on I hate work and I hate life and I hate my morning and I hate now the gym and I hate everything. But what I really like to do is the weekends. The weekends are good. And so then you go out for the weekend and to get drunk with your friends because you're celebrating a week of hating yourself and getting nowhere. And basically what happens then is you're out to drink, and this is supposed to be the time that you've worked all week for this. And in that time out to drink with your friends, which are probably people you work with, because most people's friends, 30 plus, are probably people they work with. In any case, you're out with them, let's say, if you don't have like a baby or something. And if you have a baby, then maybe you just have like play dates with other parents that, I don't know, aren't particularly happy with their life either. So like you guys are all doing that thing. And hopefully some of these people are positive, but positive people tend to stick around the positive people and the negative people tend to stick around the negative people. So if your goal is to do all these things and you want to be more positive, you're probably negative now. And that's why I'm thinking, or at least assuming, that you are probably in negative groups. Now you're out to drink. And you're meant to have fun and be happy because this is what you worked all week for. And yet you're still there complaining about work, talking about how all the workers are shitty except for you. You're not you aren't shitty, but fucking Emily, wow, she's the worst. Like, did you hear about what Emily did? I can't believe how stupid Emily is. Like, how do they even pay Emily? Like, she comes in, she doesn't do that, she doesn't do this. I'm always picking up after her. Meanwhile, Emily's like at a different bar talking about how like you don't do anything, you show up late, you are incompetent, none of it actually matters. You guys just need something to complain about. And this is me too, and this is everybody. I'm not saying I'm just saying this is a trap you are in. This is the trap you are in. And it causes you to not be able to win because you identify with this life of woe is the fuck me. And even if you're trying to willpower through that, it's going to be very difficult. Imagine this. I want to be very positive. You set the goal, good to go. And you go through this whole day of people wanting to get in on these conversations about how life sucks. And you're trying to be positive, willpowering it. I'm going to willpower being positive. So you go in on that first day. Deb's at the front desk again. Deb says, "Hey, Jane Doe, life sucks, doesn't it? And you go, oh, I love life, dude. I'm ready to win, dude. I've got goals this year. Let's go. Deb's like, don't be fucking weird. That's fucking weird. Gives you like a roll your eyes. Okay, you're full of shit. And now you're like, oh man, I guess I can't do that with Deb. So now you're kind of fucked because you're like, man, I really loved that conversation with Deb and we could like talk about how shit life is. And now Deb's going to be a little annoyed with me because I want to be positive. So, well, this is what I'll do. I will be positive, but I will just get into that conversation and say negative things. But here's the thing about doing that. I'm going to willpower staying positive, but like I'm going to have my conversations with people who generate towards or at least lean towards being negative. It is very easy to be negative. There's a lot to be negative about. It's a lot easier to be negative. Sometimes it's just like, dude, I just want to fucking be negative. I just want to talk about how bad my day was. Sometimes I just want to talk about it. I just want to tell somebody, if I could just get an ear to listen, I'll tell them how bad my fucking day is. And it feels so good. Listen to this. And I just need to get this off my chest. Fucking, Andrew and Emily, dude, they're getting after it together in a gym. The office. And they're fucking, god damn it. And I just want to tell you how bad it is. In any case, when you're talking to Deb, it's like, that's that time that you can really indulge in that negativity. And then willpower right out the door, you're right back into that negative mindset. You're right back into that negative focus where you're looking through, hey, what can I find to talk about that's bad? That's not winning. That is such a limiting factor for you is that automated negativity in caused by you and your environment. So willpower, this is why willpower cannot be relied on to make the change. But willpower can be used to create automations. Willpower can be used to put yourself in a situation where you're forced to do something that either helps you automatically focus on the thing that you're trying to accomplish or automatically have to do something that will like build a skill or automatically put you in position. You can't get out of it. There's no backing out now. It's like I set this up and now it has to happen, and now I'm going to do it. That's signing up for something and then putting money down. Now I have to follow through with that. That's like signing up for a marathon in some other land, like far away, where now you have to travel and now you got to go do it. So now you got to train for it. And every time you set up a workout with the trainer, two things. One, you're paying for the trainer. Two, you're paying for the event. And you're like, okay, like when things happen, you have to show up to it. But the willpower can be used to set those things up. And then now you just have to do it because you can't get out of it because you already pulled the trigger. So willpower is used to pull the trigger. And so that's that. And this is why this is why it's not just setting a goal. It's not just coming up with a plan. You have to find a way. You got to do those things too. Those are super important because you're going to be fucked out that. But if you have a goal and you have a plan, but you have not found a way to automate the consistency using willpower so that when you absolutely don't want to do it at all, you still have to go do it. Like, I have no motivation. I don't want to do this. I'm telling Deb, fuck, I signed up for this thing and now I gotta go do it in the morning. You gotta go do it. Like, this thing is going to change the way that you fucking live. This will be the thing that changes you, is the automation, the willpower that you spend to automate differences. Like, for example, I talked about like there's a daily way of living. You wake up in the morning, you go down the stairs, you go to the bathroom, you go to the kitchen, you eat the same breakfast, you get in your car, you go the same route to work, you stop at the same QT, you go into work, you talk to Deb, you talk to Andrew, you talk to Emily, you go home, you go to your trainer, you hate it, you talk to him about how much you hate it, you go home, you watch the same TV show and or the same like streaming network, whatever, what have you, you go to sleep, you wake up, you do it again. Until Saturday when it's a little bit different, but it's the same bar that you really like that you go to because the same people go there and complain about life while they're getting drunk and then so on, right? So like, how do you automate the change? You have to use willpower to insert yourself in different environments because most of what you are is going to be predicated on your environment. So you're a negative person, you want to lose weight. So we need to be around fit people who are either already fit, And those people will probably be pretty positive people. So you put yourself around, you find yourself to forcibly insert yourself into some commitment where you have to be in a fitness community of some kind, whatever that is, it will be fine. But insert yourself in that where there's skin in the game for you. So that way there's pain associated with leaving, because it's like now you've wasted your money. So that now you're in this community. So the conversations, they don't really want to have conversations about how you're eating shit foods. They don't want to have conversation where you're drinking all this alcohol. I mean, those things will happen for sure, but we're not going to be supporting that kind of thing. We're going to be supporting and empowering you to win at your goal. And so like, those are the conversations that we're just having, right? So now you're trying to find ways to have these different types of conversations you're not used to. Now we're changing. Then you go to the next thing, which is like, okay, so you wanted to get fit, but you want to become positive too. Okay, good to go. So now instead of going on to the bar over the weekend with your friends to talk shit on all these other people at work, whatever, on the weekends, find a way to get into events or groups or seminars or just fun shit. Like, I don't know, where people are positive, like where positive people are at. Put yourself around positive people, a positive community. I think the fitness community could be both of those things. But you need to do that because those emotions then will be kind of driven into you. Like, you're not used to talking about winning. Like, you're not used to being around people who are like, I'm ambitious about my goals and I set limitations for myself. It's kind of weird for you to be around somebody who says, like, I'm not going out this weekend because I want to make sure I'm good for this week. But like, look, I still go out and have fun, but I do it when time permits, when like I can really enjoy it. And like when it makes sense, not just every weekend because I don't have anything else going on, because there's free time. I'll fill it with just getting hammered. I don't have to wake up tomorrow early, so I'm going to get hammered. Like, none of that. It's like I'll go out when I'm celebrating something and I'll go wild when I'm celebrating, but I'm going to do that when I have something to celebrate for. And like, that's a weird thing for most people to have that. Like, what do you fucking mean? Like, what are you talking about? So you need to be putting yourself in those places where you feel kind of like you have to force yourself up front to kind of like follow along with what everybody's doing. And then eventually, after doing that long enough, because you've automated this, you're paying a shit ton of money to insert yourself into these places. And what's important is to really open your mind, really become aware of yourself in these moments. And I have some tools down here at the end of this podcast. I will go over these tools that I have that you can kind of bring more awareness to yourself, bring yourself to the present moment, so that you can sort of understand like when these things are arising, when these things are happening to you that are messing you up, are usually associated with an emotion. So it's about emotions. So the idea is, let's say you have a goal. When you set a goal and you make a plan, you have to associate this goal and this plan with daily intentions. We talked about this in a different podcast, so I won't go over it again. If you want to learn more about that, DM me. I will just talk your ear off about setting daily intentions and I'll talk a little bit about it because it's one of the things, but setting daily intentions, utilizing like that's an automated focusing by using relics of intention. I'll talk about it here in a second. But basically, when you set a goal and you have a plan and you use daily intentions, all of those things, when you use them, have to be paired up with an emotion, a powerful emotion. And then there's a book called Think and Grow Rich, written by a guy named Napoleon Hill. He spent some like 25 years just following all of these super highly successful people and studying people, Thomas Edison, Dale Carnegie, Henry Ford, people like this. But basically, he spent 25 years. He wrote this book about the foundational principles of what makes a person successful in accomplishing their goals. And in part of that book, actually chapter 12 specifically, he talks about the subconscious mind, like what the subconscious mind is and why it is so important to find a way to harness and game and leverage and not really control, but try our best to control like what comes from the subconscious mind. And he goes into how emotions are so important. Because with those things, with those things I just talked about, when you sit down to think hard on something, like I'm going to think on my goals, I'm going to think hard on my plan. I'm going to think hard on my daily intention. I'm going to think hard on who I want to be, why I want to be, when I want to be. I want to make moments. All of those things have to be associated with an emotion, a real emotion. And so here are the emotions, and you don't want these emotions to be negative emotions. So you have to start to bring awareness to like, what is a positive emotion? Like, why do I have them? When do I have them? This is important. And then negative emotions, it's like, when do I have negative emotions? When do I have them? Why do I have them? Because if you're doing something that is in line with who you are and what you are, then positive emotions fly. If you're doing something that is negative, is something that you know you shouldn't be doing, it's going to be associated with these negative emotions that are very, very powerful. So you have to be aware of them. Now, there's a bunch of emotions, but here are the 7 most powerful positive emotions that Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich. So here they are. 1, these are positive emotions, by the way. 1, desire, faith, love, sex, enthusiasm, romance, and hope. So you want these to be, so desire is foundational to anything that you are going to accomplish. If you've set a goal that you have not stayed consistent on, or you have not followed through with, or you started and you stopped, usually it's because you did not focus on the desire, the emotion of desire. Like when you set a goal, that's got to resonate down the back of your spine. If you set a goal like, I want to make this much money because everybody told you should, or I got to buy this car because everybody else has it, but it's not really your style, but if you bought that, then everyone think you're the cool kid. You are never going to get it. One, you're never going to get it, but you might, and you're just going to live your whole life basically just annoyed with yourself, just comparing yourself to others, just thinking you're a complete failure because you set a goal that's not even yours, is not paired with the positive emotion of desire. But there is something that you really want. Like, for example, if you're a gamer, like if you really love video games, you're like, I really just wish I could be a fucking gamer. I really love this so much. I'll spend fucking 20 hours a day on this game. And let's say it's not just like an addiction that's been caused because they've found a way to get you addicted to these games. Let's just say you really love it and you have like a deep passion for it because you're like, man, these games, they do all this stuff for people, and you really love it. But you're like, there's no way I can make a career on that thing that I love. There's no way I could act on a thing that I love because some bullshit story now that you say, because my dad, he's going to think I'm a fucking piece of shit. Like he's going to think I'm an asshole if I start like actually pursuing that. Like my girlfriend says, like my girlfriend requires me XYZ, my boyfriend requires me XYZ, my friends will think I'm stupid, like I'll be judged by everybody, I don't really think it's possible. What have you? The stupid fucking story that goes through your mind, the doubt that fucking riddles your mind, tells you not to attack that fucking goal. Like, fuck all that. But that's usually what stops you from going into really utilizing the emotion of desire, where like now you set this other goal that everybody would accept, like get a job as a lawyer or something, or a doctor, and everyone would really love that. They would be like, oh my God, you are the man. You're going to kill it. You're going to crush. Whatever. And then you're on your way and you just hate your fucking life because it requires you to do all this stuff and whatever. And maybe you even failed at it. Like you failed out of the fucking medical school, whatever. Like it's because you didn't pair that goal, that plan, that daily intention. You did not pair that up or try to become aware of the powerful emotion of desire. I could go through all of these. Faith, the belief in yourself, the belief that it is possible. This is interesting one. This is an interesting one. This one is super powerful. The power of faith, it should not be undervalued or overlooked. It should not be overlooked. Faith is everything. Faith is everything. Faith in yourself, faith that it's possible. There's a bit of delusion almost with it, I want to say. You've got to be a bit delusional. You've got to be so fucking sure that you can do it. You know it's going to be difficult. You know it's going to require all this effort. You know it's going to XYZ for this desire. You have this desire, and now, like I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I know I can do it. I know I can do it. I fucking know I can do it. And then you fail because you have to learn on your way there. But like, if you don't have a powerful connection of faith with your plan, like with your goals, with your daily intentions, with like what you think is possible for you, even if it's impossible, like perceived impossible, then it will be very, very, very difficult for you to accomplish anything without belief in yourself, like undeniable belief. You have to believe it as much as you believe that you can tie your shoe. That's how much you have to believe this impossible thing is possible. And I sort of think this, and this is what think big, live better really means, is think big, live better is find a way to believe that anything that you set out to do is possible. Find a way, whatever that is. And I'm going to talk about some of that stuff down here, ways that you can try to build faith in yourself, even though you've never accomplished shit. Or maybe you've accomplished a little bit, but like there's so many failures that like the evidence stacks up towards this is impossible, and so you stop. The evidence stacks up that you don't have what it takes, so you stop. The evidence stacks up that you're not smart enough, that XYZ, so you stop. You have to still cultivate faith. This is the crazy part, because all of those failures, all of that evidence that says that it can't be done, on the other side is evidence that gives you the ability to, or evidence, or at least knowledge in the areas that are now going to be required that you take in and use to go to your next try, which gets you closer to actually making the impossible possible. So that's priming your mind. All of the evidence that shows that you cannot do it is basically you looking at it that way instead of looking at it as all of the evidence that you can do it, because this was the wrong way. So if you can kind of see what I'm saying, it's basically like diving into, okay, I failed all of these times. What were the lessons from all of those, and how can I change it for the next try? And if you fail in that one, good. Why? Fail next time? Good. Why? Priming your brain, automating the intention to be like, I'm only going to look at all failures as the next lesson to try again, to try again, to try again. You got to keep doing that. So in any case, faith though, because on the other end, faith dwindles as failure rises, and you're going to have to fail a lot. So this is the difficulty of accomplishing your goals. You're going to have to fail a lot. That's a hit. Failure is not good. Like a lot of people think failure's no. Let me restate this here. People don't think failure is good, but people do romanticize the idea of failure, and they say fail and fail often. Fail because failure is a lesson. When you go out and you fail, it's going to hurt like somebody stabbed you in the fucking thigh with a pencil. So it's not good in that. I don't want a fucking pencil stabbed in my thigh day after day after day. And that's going to be what's required, because you're going to have to learn from that fucking pencil to the thigh. You know, and then eventually you're going to like wear like some kind of Kevlar over your fucking thigh so it breaks the pencil and you don't get stabbed there. And until you put the Kevlar on, or learn that the Kevlar exists that you can put on your thigh, you have to keep getting stabbed there. And the pain of you getting stabbed there over and over is what's going to cause you to buy the Kevlar. But if you're not getting stabbed by the pencil, you'll never buy the Kevlar. You'll never be able to make it to the next step. So you need to get stabbed in the thigh by a pencil over and over. But getting stabbed by the pencil for most is not enjoyable. It sucks ass. And everybody laughs at you when you get fucking stabbed in the thigh by a pencil. They're like, look at that dumb fuck, just getting stabbed in the fucking thigh over and over, but with the pencil. Meanwhile, none of them are fucking getting stabbed in the fucking thigh. They stay there. You buy the Kevlar, you move to the next step. And they're like, damn, I wish I could do what they did. Then they sit in the chair and they get stabbed in the thigh and they say, fuck, I don't want to do that. That sucks. And they stop doing it because they're like, that's impossible. You can't just keep getting fucking stabbed in the thigh. So keep that in mind. That's what I'm talking about. But in your mind, you have to be like, I just got stabbed in my thigh. This sucks. But I know there's a way. There's got to be a way. And it seems impossible because you don't know the answer yet. You don't know the answer. You don't have the answer yet. You're not aware of it. You're not aware of the answer. You've never been told the answer. You've never learned the answer. So you think it's impossible. There is literally a perceived impossible task here. This is impossible. There's no resources because your mind doesn't know that there are endless resources out there at your fingertips, right in your pocket. Almost everybody has it. It's called a smartphone. But you don't know yet how to use that tool. So you think that oh, the phone is only used for like apps and social media and texting and calling people. So that's not a tool for you yet, let's say. So you've got to become aware that that is a tool by researching and having faith in yourself, a faith that it's possible. If you have a faith that the impossible is possible, then every time you fail, you will be like, okay, it was something that I did that was wrong, but there is an answer. I don't know it yet, but I will find it, and you will go searching. But if you do not have undeniable faith and that the impossible is possible, then once you continue getting stacked, once those failures continue to stack up, you will stop. You will stop because it hurts too bad, and your perception is that there is no answer. And so you won't search. And so you have to have faith that there is an answer out there. And there is an answer out there. And I'm sort of in it right now. I'm not saying that I've found all the answers. That would be fucking insane. But there's one out there. For every one of my issues on my way up, for every one of my problems, for every one of my challenges, there is an answer. And if I'm failing right now, that's just me not knowing the answer yet. But you bet your fucking ass I'm searching day after day after day relentlessly, trying to find the answer to all of the failures on the way up. But I have the faith. And that is my armor, really, is the faith that there is an answer out there. The practicality behind that. Love, sex, enthusiasm, romance, and hope. Those are the rest. And hope on that seventh one. And if you guys want me to go in depth on any of these other ones, just send me a message. I'll go through it in more depth. But hope on the end there. Hope. I'm not a big fan of hope because I feel like faith covers that. I think hope walks through the fire and faith jumps over it. And so I think rest your head on faith. Don't hope something. Have faith. Have faith it is going to happen. I don't hope things are going to happen. I don't hope things are going to happen. At least for me specifically. I have faith that we can do it. I have faith that it will happen. Absolutely 100%. I don't hope we can do it. But that's just that's Think and Grow Rich. So by Napoleon Hill. Great book. You should definitely get it. So then the negative emotions. Here's the things that are fucking you up. So the negative emotions, the 7 most powerful negative emotions that are keeping you from winning are fear, jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, superstition, and anger. These 7 emotions are fucking you up. So our thing right now is better together. I'm going to do a million collabs. I'm going to try to get people's word out as much as I can. I'm going to do everything I can to help the community. I'm going to help our community. I'm going to help our clients, our trainers. I'm going to help other people's clients and trainers. I'm going to help everybody I possibly can. I'm going to get involved with everybody I can because we are better together. We need to work together. Together is better always. If we are not fighting each other because of fear, jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, superstition, and anger, we are winning. If we can work together with desire, faith, love, sex, let's get it. Enthusiasm, romance, and hope, then let's get after it. Like let's get after it. Like we will win if we do that. And so here's the thing. We'll start with fear. Fear is the number one reason why you fail. The fear of people talking shit. The fear of people not accepting what you're doing. The fear of failure in front of people, making you look incompetent and stupid. The fear, man. The fear that it won't work. The fear that it is impossible. The fear that it's not worth it. The fear that you're going to become poor and broke. The fear is what stops you. The fear is what controls you. But this is Mike Tyson. This is really good. He said in a podcast, someone's podcast, I don't know, but he said, fear is like fire. Fear can cook your food if used well and controlled. Fear can cook your food, warm your home, keep you safe. But fear uncontrolled can destroy everything and leave nothing but destruction in its wake. If you have uncontrolled fire, that's like fear. Fear is like that. You can use fear. You can allow fear to guide you because on your movement forward, if you're not afraid about what you're doing, if you're not taking risks and challenging yourself on every level, then you aren't going to move forward. That's the same thing with losing weight. That's the same thing with getting stronger, with running long distances, with getting the new job, with getting a pay raise, with buying a new home, with getting a significant other that you really love and enjoy, even though that's a whole nother podcast, but I would say that's more work than it is anything. In really getting to know a human being that's willing to fucking, that's willing to kick it with you. But like I said, different podcast. In any case, like all of that is terrifying. All of that is terrifying. But you can use that. And in my mind, it's just a matter of how you look at things. If you look at things as like that other side of fear, the side of fear that's bad, then fear fucks you up. You can't do anything now because you only basically focus on the side of fear that's negative. And so you don't do things that cause you fear. So you totally stray away from it. But if you were to look at all the things that fear is good for, then you'd be more likely to get after it. And so that's bringing that intention back. So that's that. So basically you have to know when you're feeling the fear and what's causing the fear. And it's the same thing. Now we'll go into the second one because I did 2 for the positive emotions. So negative emotions for the second one down is jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, superstition, anger. I think I'm going to go with revenge instead of jealousy because jealousy is bad because jealousy will fuck you up in terms of if you're jealous of somebody, you're just paying attention to everything they have. You're not focusing on yourself. You're not focusing on you being better. It's why you shouldn't be competitive in business. You should be creative in business, but you should never be competitive anywhere. You should be creative everywhere. Because if you're creative and I want to become more valuable to everyone around me, including myself, and I'm going to do that in a creative way, it's going to require a lot of focus and effort. And so you have no time to think about your competitors, in which case, like, you will create the best value. If your competitors are thinking about ways to beat you from behind, good to go. You've already done it. So you don't need to worry about your competitors. You're constantly innovating and getting better. But if you're competitive, then basically you're like, what is everybody else doing and how can I beat them? Then you're focused more on what is everybody else doing so I can beat them and less on, hey, like XYZ. Or if it's like, oh, I want my body to look like this person's body because they have such an amazing body and I'm jealous of their body. Maybe you even start hating them. You're like, fuck you for having that body because like you're not going to have somebody else's body. You're going to have your body always. And so that's massive. It's like, and that's a good point actually to kind of go into is just like, you're going to have your body. I always kind of get people, hey, I want to look like this. And they give me a picture of somebody they want to look like. Stop fucking doing that. Stop doing that to yourself. You know who you're competing with? Yourself. I know it's cliche, but God fucking damn it. If we could just do it, if we could just do that every morning you wake up and you're just like, hey, this is what I did yesterday. This is what I'm going to do today. It brings yourself back to awareness. Like you would be a champion because you're just be trying to get a little better every day from yourself. Instead, you get on Instagram and you see a person with fucking 25 abs down their front of their body created by fucking, I don't know, Instagram magic. And you hate yourself. And you get resentful of those people. Maybe I should like get online and talk shit on these people. Fuck these people. Fuck the fitness people. Now you get further and further away from, I want to make a lot of money. But what do you usually say? What do people usually say? You hate the rich people. You hate the rich people. Rich people are so bad and evil and shitty. Why? Because you're resentful, because you don't have the money, yet you're not doing anything outside of complaining about them. You know, like, so you hate them. The more you hate rich people, the further away you're going to get away from, the further away you're going to get from, you know, from wealth. The more you fucking resent like people that are super fit, the more you're going to get, the further away you're going to get from it. The more you're resentful and you want revenge, the further away you're going to get from all this stuff. And also, it's on you only. This thing is so detrimental to your brain to have any of these negative emotions, jealousy, hatred for somebody. You hate somebody. If you have the capacity to hate somebody, you have the capacity to hate yourself. That's it. And if you hate yourself, you're not going to win. You're never going to win if you hate yourself. If you have the capacity to be jealous, to have a strong emotion of jealousy, then you are going to fucking never have any of those things. You're jealous of those people and you know you want them. But what will you do? Cognitive dissonance will take its fucking course and you'll go around telling everybody that you would never want that because that's not for you. But if I gave you the chance to have it, you'd take it. So cognitive dissonance and in the worst direction, fucking just buried in negativity, just surrounded by and immersed in negativity. So let's go with revenge and resentment. When you want revenge on somebody, again, you're resentful of this person for doing something to you. That is in your heart. That is like you're resentful of yourself. You kind of hate yourself. This is more about you than it is that person. It's like if you want to go hurt somebody, if you want to take something from somebody else, you want them to feel the way that you felt. That means that you're just holding that inside of you. You are abusing yourself internally. And that takes so much energy and time and focus away from what could be making you better. It's like in your heart just tearing you down. And so you have to find a way to forgive. Because if you can forgive those people, then you can start to kind of fall into the emotion of love. And you can start to love yourself. If you have the capacity to forgive people who have wronged you in the worst possible ways, if you can find a way to do it, truly, you can do it truly. It just fully in line with belief in that emotion just really resonates with you and changes your biochemistry on how much you actually forgive that person. You will release yourself of such a fucking deep, it's a chain that just fucking pulls you down and holds you from doing anything, keeps you back, limited from anything. You're too held back from resentment and wanting revenge. It's like, I mean, I just don't I don't understand it myself. Like to some degree, why it makes sense that you protect this feeling, why you protect it so heavily or with everything you've got. You protect this resentment and this hatred you have for other people, that are doing things that maybe you want to do, or somebody who fucked you up somehow. It's like it's almost it's a part of you. It encapsulates what you are and who you are and why you are, because pain is so deep that you feel like you have to get it. Otherwise, I have to get my revenge. I have to see that person feel the pain I'm feeling. Otherwise, I can't move forward. And so everything about you becomes, I'm going to fuck that person up, XYZ, and you can't get anywhere. You can't be positive. You can't lose weight. You can't get the new job. You can't build a new business. You can't get the fucking girlfriend or the boyfriend that you want. You can't level up in life. You're too fucking encapsulated by the hatred for yourself first, because you have the hatred for all these other people. And until you can forgive, and I believe this, until you can forgive those people fully, man, good luck. Good luck. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, look, if you find a way to be super fucking resentful and your whole thing is about revenge and that helps you in any way, let me know. But my guess is no. And I also choose to believe that it's completely fucking bullshit. If you find a way to like win utilizing revenge and resentment, I don't want to fucking really hear about it. I mean, I'll hear about it. I'll have a conversation, but fuck your facts, dude. Fuck your facts and fuck your way of living. I wouldn't want to live in a state where I have any kind of revenge, jealousy, hatred, resentment. I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to have superstitions about things and fucking come up with random assumptions about shit without real information, dude. I don't want to fucking have any of this anger. I don't want to live in any of that. I don't want any of that to drive me. None of that do I want that to drive me. I don't care how powerful of a driver it is. I don't care how powerful of a driver it is for you. I don't care how powerful of a driver it was for all of your mentors. I don't care how powerful it was for your parents. I don't want fucking any kind of fear, jealousy. Well, okay, fear is one that I'll use because I do believe that the other side of fear is good. I don't believe that there's another side of jealousy. I don't believe there's another side of hatred. I don't believe there's another side of revenge. I don't believe there's another side of greed. I don't believe there's another side of superstition. I don't believe there's another side of anger. I don't give a fuck about it because it's more powerful desire for something good, belief in myself, love others always. Sex, let's go. I mean, who hates sex? I mean, come on. Enthusiasm, let's win. Like, let's get it. Let's be fucking excited about life. Let's be excited about what we're doing. Let's be excited about growth. Let's be excited about bettering everyone around us. Fuck, I want every single fitness business out here to win. I want every fitness business out here to win. Every single person who does the same exact thing I do on a daily basis. If you ever see this, if you ever watch this, know this about me. I want you to do better than me. I want you to do better than me. And I always tell every single one of my trainers this, is that if at some point my trainer becomes, wants to leave and create his own business, her own business, and it's my direct competitor and they're better than me, good. Let's go. Better together. Better. And I'm not saying no competition between two people who love each other. Like two people who will love each other in the name of fucking getting after it. Like, let's go. Like, if we both look at it this way, we'll both win. But as soon as I get resentful, oh, you worked here with me and now you left. You worked here with me and now you left and now you're owning more of the market. Once I get resentful, angry, that's when they for sure win. Because now I'm not focused on winning. Now I'm focused on hating. Now I'm not focused on fucking helping people get better and bringing value to the fucking market of fitness. I'm focused on hating, being resentful, and wanting revenge. And so none of that ever comes to fruition, and you just continue to live in this dark, shitty place, and you never move forward. So here are the tools. I'll put it on there. Hey, the tools are at the end. Here are the tools to become aware and to start to automate your focus on positivity. So here they are. So meditation and yoga is huge because it brings you to your senses. It gives you the tools like deep breathing to bring yourself to the present moment. Practice mindful breathing. Take slow breaths in and out. They know that you can bring your cortisol down by 50% if you take a 3-second inhale and a 3-second exhale. And another tip would be just to say, I wonder what my next thought will be, because then you're paying attention to your thoughts. So you've taken a deep breath in, you've taken a deep breath out, and you've asked yourself, I wonder what my next thought will be, and watch and feel and pay attention to your body, your chest, your breathing, and just pay attention to your senses. What does your clothes feel like on your skin? That kind of thing. It's massive. That's massive. You can just totally eliminate all the stress, take your shoulders out of your ears, all that stuff. It allow you to sort of bring yourself to the present moment. Meditation, different types of meditation, like imagery and imagining yourself, doing things, different types of meditation. You can even go out into nature. So the third one would be like, take nature hikes, things like that. Bring yourself outside, change your environment. Changing your environment in nature has the same effect as meditation. They know that neurologically. So bringing yourself out into nature, engage in nature, sights, sounds, smells around you, walk mindfully, paying attention to each step. Let's go to, game and leverage your community. So I talked a little bit about like that earlier, but gaming your community is like, you have to use your willpower to automate things, and then the automation is what's going to win. And so willpowering yourself into the community that constantly says positive things will sort of bring you to this place, or make you more mindful. They'll be like, they will keep you accountable to shit that you're doing that's kind of sending you backwards. Practice gratitude. So on a daily basis, just writing down like, hey, 10 things I'm grateful for every single day is a great, because it basically, it's like that. These are the things that I love about my life. And it just brings your focus to, these are the things I love about my life. And so throughout the day, you sort of shifted your focus now to every one of those things that exist as you walk by it, as you run through it. And then you don't pay attention then to all the negative things. So that's for that positive. So a daily, these are the 10 things that I'm grateful for, or one thing that I'm grateful for every day would be massive. That would be so massive for you moving forward. Journaling, asking yourself random questions. That way you can get to know yourself better. That will bring awareness of yourself. Like, for example, first question here, I can tell you will be very useful is, what do I want to do with my life? Like, what do I want to do with my life if I could not fail? That's not my question. I heard that on Instagram one day. It's a really powerful question. If you really sit down to answer that in a journal, And then ask yourself something else like the next day, like, okay, that's the thing that I wanted to do if I would not fail. Who are the people I would need to know or be around to get me closer to that goal? And then answer that in the journal. And then after that, you know what I'm saying? Google it. There are a million questions. Chat GPT, ask Chat GPT, what are 10 questions I should ask myself to better myself moving forward, to become more present of myself, to become more aware of myself, to understand myself better? Massive. Journaling is such an amazing practice. So do that. Habits, create habits. So habit stacking, there's a book called Atomic Habits, great book. I'm not going to go too much into depth on this, but I will say your habits, you want to sort of follow up. So if you have a habit right now, let's say you have a habit of like getting out of bed, doing all your stuff, jump in your car, and you have the habit of taking the same route to work. And that route brings you by QT that you keep going through. Do not try to willpower yourself past that QT. Got to stop going to that QT because I keep buying a soda and I keep buying a big gulp and I keep buying candy and I keep buying the donut and I keep buying all the shit that's fucking me up. Like, so I need to just drive by that. Don't do that. That's not going to work for long. You need to take a different route to work. Take a different route to work. You want to like change that up. So instead of that, you go somewhere else. And maybe you stop somewhere where like there's a healthy thing. There's like a healthy thing that you get. So you take a different route to work and you get a different thing that's healthy, let's say. And then you just change the habit. You're still doing it, but you're just changing the habit. You're going from let's create a habit, a healthy habit and not a negative habit, but it's by changing the environment. The environment is you're taking this route to work. Now the environment is I'm taking this route to work, and there's that different trigger, and the trigger is a healthy trigger. So try to game your environment and create habits around that. Another thing is starting at the very smallest portion of something. So let's say you want to work out every day. Why don't you just do 10 body squats a day? Start at that and then get into the habit of doing 10 body squats a day and then increase from there. But create habits, automated habits, and then habit stack. So let's say you're used to doing something all the time. When I get off work, I go home, I do this. After this, whatever that may be, every time you go home, right after that, do something. Like, let's say the 10 squats comes right after you go home and you like do a thing that you always do right when you get in. Maybe it's like feed the dog or something, I don't know. But you have the habit of doing that. It's just every time I get home, I do this. Habit stack. So basically it's like when I do this, that is the trigger. That habit is the trigger for the next thing. And the next thing is the healthy habit. So habit stack. So put things to where like you're right there. It's like whatever. The next thing is set daily intentions and create relics of intention, of focused intention, so that it kind of brings your attention to what you're doing. So there's something called autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is out of this book, Think and Grow Rich. It's an amazing concept. Look up autosuggestion. It will crush for you because it is a way of automating the structure of your mind and what your mind looks to pay attention to. And if you have something to refocus you on what you should be paying attention for that day, it is like so powerful. So for example, have you ever bought a car? If you've ever bought a car, all of a sudden everybody has that car. It's like you bought this new car and now you're driving around. You're like, oh my God, everybody has this car. And that is auto-suggestion. That is auto-suggestion. People didn't just go out and buy that car. You bought that car. And now because you bought that, your brain is looking for that car out of all of these cars. And so you notice it way more than you did before you bought that car. So that's the same exact thing when it comes to being positive and all these other things, looking for those opportunities that just might pass you right by, looking for all of these things that you're trying to use to accomplish your goals, and you miss them because you're not refocusing. So this is what you do. And this is what I'll end on. A relic of intention, setting daily intentions. Let's say you want to be positive, right? Good to go. You want to be positive, but day to day goes by. You didn't write it down. You never see it. You lose focus, probably like 2-3 days. You lose focus. You don't have the motivation. You forget that you wanted to be positive. You're right back to being negative and you hate it, right? Good to go. So instead of just doing that, do something very simple, but extremely powerful. Take a board or a note, whatever. Write down, be positive. Be present, be happy, whatever. Just that one thing. Be positive. On like a Post-it note, put it in the middle of your bathroom mirror and just move that note every time you get into the mirror. You look into the mirror. Move that note. And now you just had to look at that note. Even if you didn't read it, you know what the note is. It's the thing that is telling you to be positive. You moved it. You literally took action on your goal. You took action on your goal. You took action on your intention or way of being. Now you get into your car and somebody, and you're on your way to work and somebody fucking gets out in front of you and you're about to fucking lose your mind, like, and yell at this dude and flip him off. But you remember that you took that fucking note down and it said, be positive. And right now you're about to not be positive, and you change that. You change that action, that behavior, just because like you annoyed yourself with that be positive note. You've automated your daily intention by creating a relic of intention that is automated. You have to move it. So get a board, get anything. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. But whatever you have, maybe it's just like a big happy teddy bear and you're just like, I have to, move this from my bed every time I get in and out of my bed. Like every time I walk past this, there's a chair and the chair has the teddy bear on it and I have to move the chair every morning. And that little teddy bear is be happy, be positive, be present, because it is you that is you that is ultimately going to make your life better. It is you that is going to make you happier. It is you. It is always going to be you. It's like no one's going to make you happy. No one's going to make you feel fulfilled. No one's going to make you do anything. No one has time to. They have a hard enough time with themselves. So it's up to you. Happiness is a choice. Fulfillment is a choice. Reaching your goals is a choice. That's it. Being positive is a choice. It's a choice, and you choose not to be that because you forget. You lose focus. You forget. You're a human being. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a fuck up, But there is something wrong with knowingly being a fuck up and doing nothing to change it. For sure, that's true. And so you need to fucking do these things, man, and they'll help out. And I don't know everything, but these are some things that I know and have helped me. And those books are really good. The ones that I mentioned, Think and Grow Rich is a badass book, and Atomic Habits is a badass book. And that's the hour, folks. So thank you for coming in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming in. This is only my second solo podcast. I suck ass, but I'm getting better, hopefully, and as time goes by. And tune in to episode 70 next week is going to be badass. We have Jillian Tedesco. She's the CEO of Fit Flavors. That's going to be badass. So drop in, check that out, listen, share, like, subscribe, do all the stuff all your other influencer buddies are asking you to do for this podcast so that we can get better and we can continue to try to find ways to help you think big to live better. And thank you for fucking listening, guys. I truly mean that. And I have big, giant goals for this podcast. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to sit here and kind of talk to nobody like a lunatic. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next one.